awoke to the soft, golden light of early morning, filtered through thin curtains, the aroma of coffee already drifting from the kitchen. But her morning was never truly quiet. Before she could even take a sip, Liam, her 3-year-old son, came running into the room, tiny feet padding against the hardwood floor. His laughter, pure, spontaneous, innocent, filled the apartment like a melody she could never forget. She knelt to scoop him up, feeling the familiar weight of his small body against her chest. His tiny hands clutched her shoulders as if he were holding on to the world itself, and in that embrace, she felt invincible. From the very moment he was born, Elena's life had revolved around Liam. Every detail mattered: his first step, his first word, the way he tilted his head when curious. She kept meticulous notes, small journals of memories, scribbled letters she never intended to send, pictures of him asleep, awake, and discovering the world. Love was not passive in her household. It was active, careful, omnipresent. Yet even in the cocoon of warmth and devotion, shadows lingered. The world outside was not always safe, and Elena knew this. She often imagined scenarios in which she might fail, but quickly dismissed them. Her love, her attention, her presence, she believed they were sufficient. Until the phone call came. It was late, just after midnight. A calm, measured voice delivered the words that would shatter her life forever. Liam had been found lifeless in the park where she had taken him that afternoon. At first, she could not comprehend the meaning. The sound of the words became distorted, twisting into silence and noise at once. Her knees buckled. She fell, gasping, tears streaming down her face, as though gravity itself had joined in her mourning. The following days were a disorienting blur. Police officers arrived at all hours, questions punctuating the air like gunshots. Reporters lingered near her doorstep, microphones and cameras intruding upon her grief. Friends tried to console her, but their words fell flat. It wasn't your fault, they said, and yet she knew, deep in her soul, that something inside her had failed, that despite all her love, all her care, the world had claimed Liam anyway. Her home became both a sanctuary and a tomb. Every object bore a memory: the worn-out teddy bear he slept with, the tiny socks she had folded each morning, the crayons scattered across the living room floor. Each item was a ghost of what once had been, a reminder that the world was now hollow and silent. The laughter that had filled the rooms had been replaced with an oppressive quiet, a void that pressed down with unbearable weight. Sleep was impossible. Closing her eyes summoned visions of Liam, sometimes laughing, sometimes frightened, sometimes staring silently as if asking why. She would awaken in the middle of the night, heart pounding, convinced she could hear his steps in the hallway, the soft shuffle of his blanket. The silence of the apartment was alive, echoing his absence. She began to write, letters to Liam, pages filled with confessions, memories, and questions she could never speak aloud. "I should have seen it coming," she whispered into empty rooms. "I should have protected you." These letters became both a lifeline and a torment, a way to speak to a child who could never answer, a fragile bridge across an impossible chasm. Days turned into weeks. The investigation progressed slowly, revealing fragments of the truth, surveillance footage capturing fleeting moments in the park, witness statements that hinted at a shadowy figure, small traces of evidence that demanded attention. Each discovery was both a hope and a dagger, a chance for justice, yet a reopening of wounds that had not yet begun to heal. Memories came in waves. She remembered Liam's first steps across the living room floor, his tiny hands clutching hers. She recalled his fascination with colors, his insistence on telling the same story multiple times in a single day, the peculiar way he would hum to himself when content. Each memory, sweet and tender, carried with it the unbearable knowledge that these moments were gone forever. Even when the perpetrator was eventually apprehended, the details were almost impossible to bear. A stranger, acting with cold precision, had taken Liam's life. The randomness of the act was horrifying. No motive, no warning, just a calculated cruelty that left Elena reeling. Grief transformed into a quiet, simmering rage, not merely at the perpetrator, but at a universe that allowed such an atrocity to occur. Nights offered no relief. Dreams were battlegrounds, reliving the day over and over, replaying choices she could not undo, moments she could not reclaim. Days were mechanical, filled with chores, errands, and the monotonous hum of life continuing around her, indifferent to the devastation she carried. Mirrors reflected a woman transformed, hollowed, fractured, carrying a weight no human should bear. Months passed. The investigation revealed the meticulous nature of the crime, the coldness of the mind that had executed it. The trial followed, a slow-motion nightmare of evidence, testimony, and public scrutiny. Yet no verdict could restore what had been lost. No sentence could resurrect the warmth of Liam's small body, the sound of his laugh, the touch of his hand. Elena persisted. Every morning she arose, every step through the apartment, every attempt to engage with the world was an act of defiance. Liam's memory was both a burden and a shield. She honored him not through forgetting, but by enduring. And still, in the quiet moments, when the wind brushed against the window, when the shadows flickered across the floor, she swore she could hear him calling her name. This is a story not of justice, nor of closure. It is a story of love that survives beyond reason, grief that refuses to fade, and the resilience of a human spirit confronted by the incomprehensible. Elena's journey continues in silence, in memory, and in the echoes of a life that can never be reclaimed.